Hello, 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 and welcome. We are live. Welcome to Charisma and Dating Live. It is the, I think, 41st show in the series now. So we are really getting through these shows. And it's a special day today because it is the launch party for Charisma and Dating Academy Q4. Okay, so today, after the long and tense wait, my course, Charisma and Dating Academy, is now finally open for new enrollments, and I will be putting that link into the chat so you guys can enroll. And I would very much hope that you do so, because the course is a lot of fun, and it's, more importantly, going to teach you everything you know to get your dating life sorted and in good shape going into 2021. Because look, you know, the reality is we're coming up to the end of the year. Got the old Christmas tree up here, a little bit Christmas cheer in Troy Towers. And yeah, you know, the year is coming to an end. And, you know, goodness knows, hopefully 2021 is going to be a bit better, right? Because 2020, you know, it's kind of been a little bit rubbish. But hopefully 2021 is going to be a lot better. So D Rams is in the chat. He says, happy launch day, Troy. Best of luck. Thank you very much. Jeff saying, what's up, Troy? Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining. I was just on a very long stream with John MLD, actually. I don't know if you guys saw that. We were discussing, well, it was just a little bit of bright, breezy entertainment for a Tuesday afternoon. People were saying it was a little bit like a Netflix show. So if you haven't seen it, then I would suggest that you go over to John MLD's channel and just have a look at the stream that we just did. It was a lot of fun and quite revealing, to say the least. But anyway, we're back over here on this channel now, and we're talking about charisma and dating. And the reason that, well, yes, indeed, that might consider putting something in there. So the reason that we're talking about charisma and dating, as I say, is because the course is launching today. So what I want to do is show you a little bit inside of the course, show you what you get, etc., etc. But it's not just about that. I don't want it just to be a sales letter for the course. I obviously want to give some value in this stream as well. So I want to talk really about the fundamental proposition that underlies Charisma and Dating Academy. Let me just have a look at my, oh, here we go. Good stuff. Yeah, I want to really basically talk about what Charisma and Dating Academy is all about and teach you a little bit of the formula really that lies within it. Because what this is about fundamentally is this, okay? So the course is called Charisma and Dating Academy because that's what it's about. It's about utilizing charisma so that you will gain success in dating, in face-to-face dating with attractive women, okay? So that's kind of in a nutshell what it is, what it says on the tin. But the CAD acronym also stands for something else. The CAD acronym also stands for charisma plus attitude plus differentiation equals attraction, okay? Charisma plus attitude plus differentiation equals attraction, all right? And what I have always really been interested in fundamentally, and what the course teaches, is the granular level elements that make up attraction, that mean that you can go into a scenario and, sorry, just excuse me 1 second. There we go. How to lose a bunch of viewers. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to sort something out. All right. So look, what this is about really is how that you can create attraction within an interaction. Okay. So there are other courses obviously on the market at the moment about dating apps as well. There should be, because a lot of people these days meet on the dating apps, and that's kind of the world that we live in. There are also, or there have been, courses about day game, daytime approach. And in the past, there have been books and courses about night game as well, nighttime approach, although most people aren't doing very much of that at the moment because we're not allowed to go out of night in many countries. So all of those disciplines have been explored. But I think what the really interesting thing is how do you create attraction when you approach? Okay, what do you do in order to build that attraction when you first approach the girl. And that's really what I teach in Charisma and Dating Academy. Okay, so let's think about that fundamental formula. Charisma plus attitude plus differentiation equals attraction. Okay, so the first element of that obviously is charisma. So what is charisma? Well, charisma is a term that dates back to ancient Greece. The root word of charisma is something like kairos. Okay, and it has a sort of an intonation of almost mysticism within it. Okay, meaning that those who were deemed to be charismatic, people like saints or holy figures, religious figures, were seen to be charismatic because they had something almost godly about them. Okay, there was something almost sort of like divine, some kind of divine spark in them. They were almost like chosen people. And there is this thing even today that charisma, it's either something you've got or you haven't got. And if you haven't got it, you're unlucky. And if you've got it, then great. Okay. And this is a really bad way to look at charisma, because actually charisma, which is, and we'll go into some definitions in a second, charisma is certainly something that can be taught and learned. Now, there is now significant academic study into charisma, into what it is and how you get it and how you utilize it for the benefit of, say, commercial organizations. There's a guy called John Antonakis, who is an academic, an economics professor, actually, at the University of Lausanne. And he studies charisma as part of his work. And he is on record as saying that charisma is absolutely teachable and absolutely learnable as well. Okay, he's on record as saying that. And if you look him up, he's done some like cool TED Talks and things like that. So you can find him online, look at some of his stuff. So the people researching this field will say to you, look, charisma is something that can be taught and it can be learned. Okay, so there's no excuses for not, taking up that mantle, right? Because you may as well try to improve your interpersonal skills as much as you can. Okay, so charisma, it's not actually, contrary to popular belief or contrary to previous belief, it's not actually just this thing that you have to be a god, you have to be some divine force in order to be charismatic. It's something that you can learn and something that you can improve upon. Now, people are going to look at me and they're going to say, well, he's not charismatic, or some people may think that I am, or whatever. Obviously there's going to be that range of opinion. But I can tell you this, I am certainly significantly better than I was years ago, because years ago I was completely nervous. I was completely in my own head all the time, and I had no ability to influence people or to inspire people. Okay, and therefore I lack charisma. Now, I'm not making any great claims to be the most charismatic person in the world or anything like that, but I made great strides in that direction. And that didn't happen naturally. It didn't happen because it was this God-given thing. It happened because I studied certain techniques and then I applied them, and I applied them with repetition in real life, time and time again, until I started to improve. And like with anything, charisma is a learned skill. It's something that you can pick up. It's something that you can get better at over time. All right. So John Antonakis at the University of Lausanne conducted an experiment, a social experiment, where he took a group of teachers and got them to do a lecture in front of a group. And then he got the audience to mark him in terms of, thank you, Mark, good to see you, man. Got the audience to score the professors in terms of their charisma, how charismatically they came across. Got all the marks back. And then he took them all away and took them to the classroom and taught them certain techniques to improve their charisma. Then he got them to give the lectures again to a different control audience. And the scores that they got the second time for their charisma were significantly higher than the scores that they got the first time, proving the fact that, yes, there are certain things you can do to make yourself more charismatic. There are ways in which you can improve your charisma. Okay, so this is scientifically validated. There's work on this. I go into more of the specifics on that within the course. But look, the truth of the matter is that you can improve your interpersonal skills. All right. So that's the first bit. The first bit is charisma. Okay. Now, how do we define charisma? Well, one definition of charisma is warmth plus presence plus authority plus warmth plus presence. Okay, so, or power plus authority plus presence. So the first thing is, do you have power? Are you somebody who looks like they are living in their own reality? They are somebody who can influence events around them in the direction that they want them to go. Okay, so that's the first thing. It doesn't necessarily mean power as in being the president of a country or a CEO or something like that. It just means, are you somebody who looks like you can command attention? You can create, you can meld events to your liking in your real life. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is presence. Now, presence really comes down to gravitas, I think. So it's sort of like when you walk into the room, do people pay attention to you? Are you able to command attention? Are you able to have people sit up and listen and take you seriously? Okay, so presence, something else to be worked on. Okay, and when you've got those things together, then the third thing is warmth. All right, so warmth is, are you kind of likable? Are you somebody who people maybe they want to spend time with, they want to do business with, they want to hang out with? Okay, and warmth is important because sorry, I'm just reading a comment that I lost my thread. Warmth is important because if you have just the first two, if you've got power and presence, but you haven't got warmth, then you kind of come across as a bit of a tyrant. You kind of come across as a bit authoritarian, a bit cold, lacking in that human sort of side, Alternatively, if you have just power, or say you've got just presence and warmth, but you don't have that power behind you, then you can seem like, a really nice guy, somebody maybe they'd want to spend time with, but you don't have that extra edge about you. Okay, so that might be a sort of I'm trying to think of somebody who would exemplify that. Who's almost like I was going to say like Christmassy motif, almost like a Santa Claus kind of character. He's got presence, he's got warmth, but has he got that power? Well, I suppose he's got power to deliver presents, but you know what I'm saying? Like maybe he hasn't quite got that power. On the other side of things, if you've got somebody who has power and presence, but they don't have warmth, you can imagine more like a dictatorial figure, like a president of a country under a totalitarian regime. That kind of person, they've got the power, definitely. They've got the presence, but they don't have any warmth. And so that means they're feared rather than loved, okay? And ideally, what you want to do is you want to inspire love in people effectively. I don't mean love in like romantic love sense, but you want to inspire that kind of finer feeling in the people that you interact with, right? So that's one way of defining charisma. Another way of defining charisma is looking at Robert Greene. Now, Robert Greene, in his book, The Art of Seduction, talks a lot about charisma. And he has a really, really good list of words that he attributes as being charismatic, okay? There's some really, really fascinating stuff in this. There's a whole section on this in my course, so I won't go into it in too great detail here. But basically, it is like there are things like mysteriousness. There are things like adventurousness. There are things like unpredictability, risk-taking. There are these different things and these different attributes. And he defines these as being part of charisma. So I personally almost prefer the Robert Greene approach, I think, because I think from the point of view of dating and seduction skills, I think Robert Greene is closer on the money with what he outlines for charisma. Okay, but you could look at all of these things and you think, well, okay, do I have those attributes? Do these things come across when I interact out there in the dating marketplace? And if they don't, then what am I going to do in order to improve those things? Okay, and so in Charisma and Dating Academy, the first section of the course is all about charisma. We teach you the definitions. We teach you what it is like to be charismatic and how you can basically clear away some of the wreckage. Because a lot of the time, it's not that we're not charismatic in and of ourselves. It's that there are things getting in the way. Okay. And I certainly had this issue when I was a kid, when I was younger. It was sort of like nervousness would get in the way of me coming across as being charismatic when I was out and about in clubs or meeting girls or whatever. Nervousness, fear of people's judgments, fear of rejection, all of these things. It's almost like a film over the screen or a film over the lens. If you think of a camera, it just gets in the way of that charisma that you would otherwise be showing, that charisma that you'd otherwise be generating. Okay. So you need to work to remove some of the things that are in the way and find ways to turn up the dial on those charismatic aspects that you probably got in your own personality. I mean, you've got them already. It's just they need to be brought out. Okay. So that's the first part of the equation, charisma. The second part of the equation is attitude. Now, I use the term attitude basically to encompass the idea of the bad boy, okay? The idea of the lovable rogue, the cad, the jerk, okay? The lovable jerk, right? Because in terms of dating, in terms of sex, in terms of all of that good stuff, like the reality is no more Mr. Nice Guy. We know this. It's not that, unfortunately, the nice guy finishes and he gets all the cash and prizes at the end. It doesn't work like that. You need to be a little bit more of a bad boy. You need to have that element in you. You need to have a little bit of steel in you, if you like, in order to really inspire passion. Okay. So charisma is fine, but it's a bit like charisma without power. Charisma without a little bit of attitude as well kind of falls a bit flat, right? So you want to have that attitude on top. Yeah. And so in the Charisma and Dating Academy course, we go into great detail about how to acquire that bad boy attitude, how to acquire that edge. I think about it in terms of edge a lot, because it's like you need to just have that extra X factor about you. Okay. You don't want to just be the boring chode. You don't just want to be the dude who walks in the room and, is kind of like, he's got nothing about him. You've got to have that sort of sense that you are somebody who is on their own path and goes after what they want and doesn't kowtow to other people. Okay. Really, really important, especially in dating, especially in this day and age, right? Because in this day and age, as we all know, the dating marketplace is incredibly competitive. It is incredibly crowded with lots of thirsty guys vying for the attentions of lots and lots of women who are deluged with attention from guys all over the place. So how do you stand out in that marketplace? Well, the way that you don't stand out is you're just another vanilla, nice, slightly boring dude. You've got to have something else about you, right? So within attitude, we talk about the dark triad characteristics. That is narcissism, psychopathy, Machiavellianism, and also sadism is also sometimes appended to those as well. But fundamentally, narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. We talk about those traits. We talk about why people who have that convergence of those traits, those dark triad things, why those people tend to be more successful, not only in dating and sex and romance, but also in business as well, and in things like politics and other social arenas. Okay, why is it that people with these attributes that really you might think are kind of antisocial in a way, why is it those people tend to do better in the marketplace than the nice guy? So it's an uncomfortable fact of life, isn't it? Right? Because on the one hand, we don't necessarily want to acknowledge the fact that these traits can be beneficial. But at the same time, the reality is that people who have them will often do better than people that don't. So we need to recognize that. And, we need to think, okay, so as a kind of a nice dude myself, as a, decent, polite gentleman, what am I going to do to give myself that bit of edge? What am I going to do to give myself that kind of advantage that the jerk from high school maybe had naturally? Okay. Very, very important, right? So charisma plus attitude. The next part of the puzzle is differentiation. Okay. So what is differentiation about? Well, in my book, which is called How to Be an Arsehole, which I published some years ago, my best-selling book out of the books that I've written. It's in Renegade's Dating Blueprint, by the way, if you've got that, link below. But yeah, so in that book, I talk about how radical, basically being the arsehole, being the bad boy, plus radical differentiation will take your game off the scale. And that is absolutely true. That's certainly been true in my own personal experience, all right? It's that sense that you've got to stand out. You can't just be another normie. You can't just be another boring dude. You've got to be something different. You've got to have that, again, that edge to you, okay? And you need to have it in terms of what you wear. So we do talk about fashion in that section of the course. We do talk about style, grooming, all of those kinds of things. And obviously a lot of guys want help with those things. They want some input with those things, and that's fine. That's something we cover. But on top of that, it's about your mindset. It's deeper. It's deeper than just talking about clothes. It's deeper than just talking about style. You need to have that mindset. You need to have that that sense about you, that you are different to other people. You're not just one of the herd. You're not just another also-ran. You are something different. And that is what we cover in the differentiation section. It's quite deep stuff, and what happens in the whole course is transformative in the sense that really what this is about is looking at your fundamental elements. It's like, okay, so as a person, what am I about? What do I like? What do I dislike? What do I want to communicate to the world? How do I want to communicate it? And then having those things taken apart almost, and then rebuilding yourself as this new, improved model. Okay. So charisma plus attitude plus differentiation equals attraction. And the whole point of all of this is that when you've got this stuff down, when you've got this stuff worked out, then you're walking into your social interaction. So maybe you're at the club, you're at the bar, you're at the party, or even, you're in the coffee shop, or you're in the store, the mall, whatever. You see somebody you're attracted to, you walk up to her and you communicate through your whole being that sense of quiet confidence, that sense of cockiness, that cocky, funny kind of slightly jerkish, but nevertheless, fundamentally decent, but maybe he's a little bit of a jerk. He's a bit of a lad. You put that thing across, and then your game, or what you actually say, and what you do is going to seem more attractive because you come across as a more attractive guy. Okay. So the whole course is basically about making you more attractive at the point when you're standing there in front of the girl that you like, because, you don't want to waste that opportunity, right? I mean, say you guys met on Tinder, for example. That's great. But at some point, you're going to need to meet up in real life, either to go on the date or, even if she comes to your place, guys are still going to have to meet up, and you're still going to have to stand there in front of her, and you're going to have to come across in a way that is attractive to her. Okay. And I believe in this day and age, unfortunately, that's something that's kind of missing a little bit, because we're also used to communicating online. We're also used to being on apps, being on dating sites or whatever it is, dating apps, sending messages, WhatsApp, all this kind of stuff. The art of face-to-face in real life attraction is one that somewhat gets overlooked, and it will trip you up. It will trip you up because, as I say, regardless of how you guys meet, even if you meet in some random forum or message board or something, which unusual, I know, but you meet online in some shape or form, you still need to meet up in person. You still need that you guys are going to get together, meet in person, and you need to come across in a way that is compelling and attractive. Okay. So guys, listen, while I talk through the formula and talk a bit about what's actually in the course, put your questions into the chat. Okay, so questions about charisma, questions about dating, about day game, anything else, or indeed about the course, whack them into the chat and I will do my best to get to them. There's a couple of bits here. So Jaren says, Troy, I didn't get the reminder to the free webinar. Sorry about that, mate. Did you enter your email address? I did send out an email to my list. I sent out a couple of emails to my list, actually, with the details of the webinar on it, which took place last night. So apologies for that. I don't know what happened there. If you went to the email address, then you should have got it. What I might do is I might do another free webinar maybe later this week. So let me have a think about it. I might do a second free webinar and get some more guys in. It was really good actually last night. Sorry, I don't want to rub it in, given that you weren't able to attend, but it was really good last night. We went through some infield stuff. I did some commentary, broke it down for the guys. I think guys got a lot of value from it. It was really good, and it gives you a sneak preview of what the teaching would be like when you come into Khan Academy itself. Now, the other thing that I can do is I can share the video of the session from last night. So I can certainly do that as well. I can share that video so that you guys who weren't able to make it can watch and see the material that was gone through last night. So I may do that. Like I say, I may do a second one. I haven't quite decided on that yet, but what I certainly can do is share that video. So bear with me. Jaren, could you drop me an email? I'll tell you what, actually, and also Samir is now saying, where do I input my email for free webinar in case it happens? Rollo says, I didn't get the reminder too, was looking forward to the infield. Listen, guys, I tell you what, if you want to attend, let me give you my email address here, troy@realtroyfrancis.com. Okay, so if you would like to, oh shit, I spelled it wrong, ignore that, sorry. Troy@realtroy.com. Is that better? Yes, that's correct. Okay, so troy@realtroyfrancis.com. All right, if you would like to attend another webinar, or at least to see the replay of the webinar we did last night, just drop me an email now or after this to troy@realtroyfrancis.com, and I will make sure that you're on the list and that you get the invite. Okay, so yeah, drop anybody watching this who wants to come to another webinar or at least would like that replay, drop me an email and I'll have a look at the demand, and then we'll have a think about maybe doing a second live webinar this week for people who missed the first one. But either way, I would like people to see the first one if at the very least. Peter B says, yo, Troy, love your book, How to Be an Arsehole. And I've got this colleague who is the daughter of our boss, and she has a boyfriend, but whenever I tease her, she's laughing. Well, man, I mean, it sounds like that arsehole aspect of your game is cutting through and working. So, it's amazing the power of this stuff. It really, really is. And that, by the way, is what I'm talking about. This is what CAD Academy teaches. Because what I found, right, and I've told this story many times before, but I was somebody who was very nervous, very shy, found it very hard to relate to females and other guys as well, actually, in my social group, but certainly to females, really, really difficult. And a lot of it wasn't actually because really of how I looked. It wasn't really because I wasn't muscular enough or I wasn't rich enough or, it wasn't really about any of those things. What it was about was that I was coming across to girls in the wrong way. I was too nice. I was too needy. I lacked confidence. I lacked a sense of dominance and power, if you like, those elements of charisma. I certainly lacked charisma. I mean, God knows. I didn't have that bad boy side of things. And I also wasn't differentiating myself as well. Like I would dress in casual clothes, but I was very much, it was very kind of nerdy in a sense. You know, I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to stand out from the crowd. So I was a very sort of like constrained version of myself. And as I've explained, what happened was I was at university, and you know, I ended up drinking and doing some naughty substances and things like that, and actually having a pretty good time. Although I don't recommend that as a route that you take. But what happened was that internally, one day something just snapped, and I was just like, you know what, sod it. I'm just going to go with the flow. I'm just going to be myself more authentically, or you know, I'm going to just, I suppose, really more accurately, I decided to become my own mental point of origin. I was like, sod it. I don't care about, you know, what other people think. I don't care what she might think of me or what those guys over there think of me. I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to wear what I want. I'm going to say what I want. I'm going to come across how I like. If it's obnoxious, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to do what I want to do. Now, I assumed that acting that way would repel everybody. I thought it would repel people, and they'd be like, oh my God, how can this guy behave like this? Actually, it was the opposite to that. What happened was the more that I was just being my unfiltered self in a pretty authentic manner, actually, people were drawn to me, right? Because I was refreshing, because I was just like saying what I wanted to say, doing what I wanted to do, okay? And, you know, through that, as incredible as it sounds, I got my first girlfriend. We split up sometime later. Then I started dating somebody else. Then after that, I got a third girlfriend, and then I was on the spinning wheel of you know, dating, really. And I was just, you know, the next couple of decades, that was it. I was off to the races. And as I said, I mean, it wasn't that I became better looking. It wasn't that I became taller. It wasn't that I suddenly developed an amazing six-pack. It was all about the way that I came across. And so when I was designing Charisma and Dating Academy, what I did was I really backwards reversed how things were for me. I backwards reversed my story, and I thought, well, how can I share with other people the mental transformation that I went through at that time? How can I give people that transformation themselves without them necessarily just, you know, having to go to clubs and become a party animal? Yeah, I mean, do that if you want, right? But that's not necessarily the best way to do it. So, you know, what I do instead is backward rationalize it, and using psychology and using exercises and using teaching in the live webinars. I help you to go through that transformation that I went through in a much less damaging way, if you like, because I also, you know, I wasted a lot of time. I kind of like made mistakes and things like this, which you don't want to do. So that's the kind of the fundamental transformational pillar of CAD Academy, right? It is to enable you to replicate that transformation that I underwent myself when I was younger. And I am able to teach this because it's what happened to me. It's my story. It's my transformation. Okay. And you will be amazed, actually, how different people will react to you when you start to get this mindset stuff sorted out, when you get your charisma on point, when you get that attitude to spice up your personality, when you get that differentiation. You know, people are going to start to react to you differently. Girls are going to start to react to you differently. And, you know, your life will change. Mine certainly changed to a huge, huge degree. Okay. So that's what we teach in the course. And then in the final section, it's all about game. Okay. So the final section, which is the longest section, is all about dating itself. It's all about, okay, so what do I say? What do I do? How do I optimize my game? What are the techniques I should be using, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So the whole thing, it gives you that transformation. It gives you all the mindset tools you need. And then it gives you all of the actual practical techniques that you need as well in the final section. 50 watching and only 11 likes. Come on, y'all. Yeah, come on, y'all. Thank you, Spider. Please give me some likes. So Rollo K. Sorry. Rollo K says, Troy, what do we do when we go out with guys who are constantly trying to be funny? People laugh even though They aren't funny, not for me at least. It looks like they're in the Matrix laughing. Well, people are going to do that. I mean, what you want to avoid is you want to avoid trying too hard. Okay, being try hard is another way of putting it. You want to avoid being try hard. Why? Because it looks lame. Okay, that's what it comes down to. It looks really lame. You know, like if you're trying too hard, it looks like you're compensating for something. It looks like you're trying to make up for something, and that is not a good look. She's not going to be impressed by that. Okay, so you know, yes, you want to be amusing. You know, I go into social situations, I tell a few jokes, whatever, but I'm not like being the kind of dancing monkey. I'm trying to perform for them the whole time, because that is too much. You know, then you are giving them, you're working too hard for that attention. Okay, and that's not what you want to do. So I would say, ultimately, we talked about this in the webinar last night, actually. Sorry. It was in my video yesterday. We were talking about wingmen and what it's like to go out with a guy as a wingman who doesn't necessarily have your best interests at heart. And if these people are sabotaging you, then in the end, maybe you need to find other people to hang out with, or, you know, you need to at least sometimes go out solo, right? I mean, you know, not everybody... Some people can be friends, but they're not necessarily great to go out with in terms of going out to do dating and game. Okay, so just bear that in mind and maybe think about the people you're hanging out with a bit more. Ubik says, "Merry Christmas, guys." Yes, indeed, Merry Christmas. Got the old tree up there. We'll get some more decorations on that hopefully during the month. First day of Advent today, of course. Happy Advent, guys. Matt says, when you were on to the guys from Miami, I couldn't help think that women are completely different around here. UK personality, much more reserved. Well, I mean, I don't know really. I guess I know what you mean. I mean, I suppose British girls, it seems a bit of a stereotype. I guess British girls, by and large, are a bit more reserved. But I don't think it's true to say that they're all like shrinking violets, you know, like in the Victorian ages. I mean, we've got some pretty way out girls over here as well, haven't we? I mean, you've only got to watch Geordie Shore or something like that. I don't know. I think it depends. I mean, as well, I don't know whereabouts you are in the UK. I'm in London. I deal with a lot of international people here. You know, many of the people that actually I spend time with, they're not even British, which makes a difference as well, because it's obviously you've got those different nationalities coming in. But yeah, I suppose on average, I guess the British are a bit less extra than the Americans. So yeah, I take your point. What else have we got here? So Joe says, what countries have you been to? What countries are easiest to bang? And what races will do good in these countries? Well, it's quite a big question. And to be honest, it depends, which I know is a lame answer. And it's not the answer that you want. But like that is a big topic. I mean, if you go to like Mark Zollo's website, Naughty Nomad, he's got a whole website about that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, for me personally, I've had some good experiences in places like Eastern Europe, Czech Republic, Poland, and then into Ukraine, and then even into Russia, you know. Other guys swear by Latin America. You know, it really depends on you and your type. And the thing is, in the end, you know, you kind of have to experiment for yourself. You need to get on that plane. Well, hopefully after this pandemic, get on that plane, turn up and see how it goes, right? You know, it's like, because for one guy, it may be really good, and for you, it may not be, and then vice versa. So I'm sorry to sort of fob you off with a bit of a lame answer, but it's too big a topic to go into in great detail now. And also it is somewhat subjective, okay? Because you can have good luck in one place and then somebody else doesn't have good luck and they say that place is rubbish and you say it's great. So, you know, I mean, generally speaking, I think places where you stand out somewhat, you're going to do better because you have that sense of being a bit of a curiosity, okay? Exotic value. And that could really work well for you, man. Jack says, love the tree. Thank you very much. DRAM says, day game is legit, boys. Pandemic or no pandemic, girls are receptive, and you don't have to count on wingmen to game. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you've got to, be in line with whatever the restrictions are where you are. But generally speaking, day game is certainly a great way to go if you want to find a way to, just to fit it in with your day to day and to meet different women. Okay, so look, what I'm going to do now, because what time is it? Let us have a look now at a little bit of content from the wonderful Charisma and Dating Academy, because where are we? Let's have a look at this. Okay, here we go. So what do you actually get when you go into the course? So what you get, actually, maybe I'll show you this actually instead. Let me show you something else. Here we go. So, okay, here we go. So this is the sales page if you want to have a look at Charisma and Dating Academy, and I'll drop the link into the chat. Okay. So at the moment, this is on sale for $497. There you go. And it's open today and up until Sunday, and then basically we close on Sunday, and after that you won't be able to get in. That's it for Q4 of the course, and we're capping this at 100 students as well. So you need to be mindful of that. Guys are coming in already. It's starting to fill up. So if you do want to get this side of your life handled, then now really is the time to do that. And as I say, you need to act quickly because it will fill up, and we've got guys coming in already. So Charisma and Dating Academy, from Cho to Chad, your fast, actionable plan for using charisma to become top tier in the dating game. And then there's a little bit of a testimonial here from a dude called Ryan Christensen, who some of you may know because he is a content creator also in this space, and he talks a lot about mindset and hypnosis actually for guys. So let's listen to what he says. God damn it. Sorry, guys, you're saying no audio. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can do this again. Jesus. Oh, if it's not one thing, it's the other, isn't it? Jesus. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. All right, I'll show you that in a minute because I've gone to a different page now. Okay, so this is inside the course itself. Okay, so this is what you get. So when you go into the course, as I say, there are basically 5 main sections for this. Okay, so we start off with an introduction. I just say hello, intro to the course, etc., etc. And then here on the second tab, we've got these webinars. So this was from Q3 2020. Okay, so what you will get when you come in, because I do 10 webinar sessions as part of the course, so that's part of the tuition for the course, you will get access to all the previous webinars that we also did in Q3 and Q2 as well. So you've got all of that content that's already there. Plus, you'll get access to all of the new webinars that we do. So we'll record those webinars, put them into here, and then if you miss one, you can watch the replay, or even if you attend it and then you want to go through it again, then it's all stored in that tab there. And then we go into section 1, which is called Dating Dynamics, the Global Dating Scene. Now, as you can see here, we've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. The first one is half an hour. The second one's 17 minutes. This one here, red flags, is 18 minutes. How to have rock solid frame in your interactions is 20 minutes. So in total, the course actually lasts for over 10 hours. There's a lot of video content here. But as you can see, it's broken down into these individual chunks. Now, this first section, Dating Dynamics, it basically talks about the global dating marketplace, okay? Because if you want to get this area of your life handled, you've got to understand really what's going on out there. You know, you've got to see the big picture. And so that's what this section gives you. It gives you that insight into the bigger picture and some of the things that you need to look out for, but also some of the opportunities as well. I mean, like it says here, opportunities are becoming the new James Bond. The truth of the matter is that while many people, you know, will complain about the dating scene, while many people will, you know, cry about how bad things are and how tough things are, truth is there's also a lot of advantages out there as well. Okay, then we go into section 2, and this is charisma, right? Charisma, your unfair advantage in dating. Some of these you can't blanked out because I've been through them. This is what it would look like when you've been through the course segments, okay? They will go to pale gray. But you can see all of the different sections here. What is charisma? Mindset is everything. And then we've got technique 1, destroy your fear of rejection. Technique 2, eradicate your anger. Technique 3, crush anxiety and embarrassment. Technique 4, the crack cocaine of mindset techniques. And then taking it to the next level, bringing it all together, how to dominate any room. Okay, so you can see it's a real deep dive into the art of charisma. And there are all of those different mindset techniques that you will learn in order to teach you how to, you know, crush your anxiety, how to get rid of your fear of rejection, how to not be embarrassed anymore, and then really take it to that next level with the crack cocaine of mindset techniques. So all of this really is the preparation that you need. It's the mental preparation that you need before we get up to, you know, the actual real game stuff, okay? Then going into the next section, the dark side, how to be the bad boy. This is the attitude section of the course. So here we have why the bad boy archetype is so attractive. Why do girls love this so much? And then dating rocket fuel, the dark triad. This is the stuff that's really going to light the blue touch paper for your dating life, okay? Make yourself your mental point of origin. And plus my acronym, which is called NYMPHS, okay? Which is a mnemonic to help you to stay in the frame of being the bad boy, to have that edge to you. I then go into use this classic acting technique to become the bad boy. So what can we learn from Hollywood? What can we learn from acting in order to actually embody that bad boy characteristic? And then the reality distortion field. This is a fascinating technique that actually goes back to Steve Jobs of Apple, okay? The reality distortion field. How can you almost shift the reality around you in order to serve you better, okay? Really, really powerful stuff. And plus how dark triad characteristics will change your life. So again, real deep dive here into that, the bad boy archetype and how you can embody it in order to become sexy, basically sex-worthy, as Julian used to say from RSD. And then the massive power of radical differentiation. So this is the D of CAT, the differentiation. And here I start off, I'm talking about the homogenization of contemporary culture. Basically, like everything's a bit the same. People are the same these days. You've got to stand out. And the next section, fail to stand out and you will be ruthlessly ignored, okay? You'll be ruthlessly ignored if you don't find a way to stand out. So how do you do that? Well, next section, 16 minutes, you radically differentiate yourself, okay? It's about finding the true, unfiltered you. This is what not to do, okay? Because guys make mistakes with this. These are the things that you don't want to do, the mistakes you don't want to make. And then when you do it right, how differentiation, radical differentiation, will change your life for good, okay? So these three sections, you've got, this is the background. That's what the dating scene is like. This is what you need to know, the good and the bad. This is then how you utilize charisma. This is how you get in touch with the inner bad boy and you utilize that. And then this is how you use radical differentiation. And within this as well, there's a bonus lecture, which is all about fashion, which is in the course as well. So you'll learn the basic principles for style and grooming and how to look cool when you're out about doing this. And then this is the bit that you're all going to love, which is the attraction and dating techniques. So this is the game stuff itself. And as you can see, this is the longest section. So this section goes into great detail about precisely what to do, how to go out and actually go and flirt with girls and get their phone numbers and get dates and et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, pulling it all together, it's what I call holistic game, which is to say using different funnels, different techniques to do game. It's not just about day game. It's not just about the apps. It's not just about bars and clubs. It's about a combination of all of them. Number two, what needs to be in your approach conversations with women? Okay, so what do you actually say when you walk up to the girl? What needs to be in that first conversation, right? Really key stuff. Then social freedom, pre-approach warm-ups and momentum. So guys will sometimes say, okay, so like if I'm somebody with social anxiety or I find this difficult, what do I do to break through that? Well, here you've got it. Social freedom, pre-approach warm-ups, okay? This stuff will get you out of your head and into the flow of approaching. And another section here, approach with 100% confidence and radical honesty, all right? So this isn't about some kind of weird manipulation. This is about being yourself. This is about being authentic and approaching in a natural way, but you know, in a way that's going to come across as attractive. And because you've got all of the mindset stuff from before, that's going to happen. Then we've got transitioning into a conversation. So, okay, you've approached, but then what do you do? How do you make this into an actual conversation with a stranger that you've only just met, rather than just being like this one-sided kind of like, oh, I think you're nice, you're cute, or whatever. And, you know, so how do you make it into a conversation? And then, and this is really key, flirtation and raising the temperature, because guys will sometimes get past this bit and they'll get, you know, they'll start to make approaches and whatever, but they don't flirt. They don't sexualize the interaction. And if you don't do that, then you are going to get overlooked again, I'm afraid, because she's looking for that excitement. She's looking for that intrigue, that flirtation. And if you're not providing it, then there's sure as hell somebody else out there who's going to. All right. Then we talk a bit about body language, plus verbal and linguistic effects. So what is she communicating by not only what she says, but also her body language as well? You know, what her posture is saying, what the way she's looking at you is saying, what her touch is saying, etc., etc. Very, very key stuff. You need to know this stuff if you're gonna, you know, get the best out of your dating life. Then I talk about a little bit about comfort and having a bit of a normal conversation as well, because you know, you don't want to come across as too much of a player. You've also got to come across as a regular dude. You know, remember, it's that nice bad boy thing. So yes, you want to be a bit of a bad boy, but also you want to show that you're, you know, ultimately kind of, you know, she can trust you. You're all right. You know, you're kind of a regular guy. So we talk about that. And then we talk about closing, elite closing techniques, elite closing secrets in here. You know, how do you end the conversation so that you get a phone number or go on an instant date? And then there's a whole section here about taking her on a date immediately. So that means if you met her in the shopping center or you met her in the coffee shop, okay, so rather than waiting around for 3 days until we go on a date, how can you take her on a date there and then and cement the situation instantly? Okay. Situational awareness, really important to be able to read a situation, to be able to read people and what's going on. Okay. We go into that here in great detail. And then some lifestyle stuff, right? Because this lifestyle, it's about being always on. It's about being organized, okay? And importantly, gamification as well. You've got to make it fun for yourself. You know, if you want to do like a player lifestyle, then you need to, like, strangely, you need to have some discipline. I mean, people think you wouldn't, but you kind of do. You need to have that discipline. But at the same time, it's got to be enjoyable. And that's where the gamification comes in. Then we talk about momentum, how you can gain momentum and how you can utilize it for your benefits. We crush your limiting beliefs. And then we come to the finale of the course. So you can see there's a whole bunch of material there. Like I say, there's 10 hours worth of video in here. But the good thing about this is the chunks, the little bits of video are actually reasonably short. So you can pick and choose little chunks of it. So, for example, if we go into how dark triad characteristics will change your life, I don't think you got volume on that, but or maybe you have actually, because I think I put the volume on, so you can see triad or dark tetrad characteristics will massively change your life, and they will, in the end, if used properly, make you more effective, both in the dating marketplace and also in the work tech context, as well as in the political sphere, if you're into that, or in. So you get the teaching in the video, and then underneath you also get all of this text as well. So you get the text notes, which are downloadable. So you can use this stuff to, to back up what you've learned in the videos as well. So there's a whole wealth of material here, really, which will hopefully really help to bring all of this stuff to life for you. Now, beyond that, how do we go back out of this? So that's all the stuff within the course itself, okay? You also get, in here, you get included courses, okay? And this is really important, right? Because what you get here, this course here called the Renegade Playbook, this is a short course that I developed a few years ago. It's really just a freebie, a little add-on. It talks about daily habits, about dating, actually setting up an online business. So if you're interested in freedom in terms of your business and work life, then it will teach you about this in here. So this is a small little just a little freebie add-on. But importantly, what you got here is Renegade Dating in Field, okay? And you get all of this as part of the cost of the program, okay? And this is the real good stuff, okay? Because in here, you've got some real life approaches with real life girls, okay? So you've got meeting a blonde Finnish girl. You've got meeting a blonde Polish girl. You've got meeting a beautiful Moldovan girl and taking her on instant date. Meeting an English student, a beautiful Bulgarian girl, meeting a Brazilian girl, etc., etc., etc. So what you get here is basically a bunch of real life interactions, okay, that you can watch. And that is, for me, one of the most valuable parts of this whole thing. And actually, what we then do in the webinars, in the live webinars, is we go through those and we break them down. And we say, okay, so this was good. That wasn't so good. This is why she said that. That's why I said this, etc., etc. And you can basically steal all of that stuff. Because if you want to use any of those lines, if you want to, use the same sort of approach techniques that I'm using, you can just steal all of that stuff. It's going to work for you as well. So within the private webinars, we'll be going through these and more, and we will be talking through exactly what's going on in each of those real life interactions. Okay, so this is, people are always banging on about receipts and stuff. Well, there's the receipts, and we will go through them and break them down. So they're really valuable teaching as well. You also get a couple of these are beginner training sessions. So you can see me training a couple of dudes in London here. It's a couple of those, both about half an hour long each. You can watch them doing approaches as well. And then there's a bunch of other videos in here, which are basically day game instructional videos. Okay. So, again, this in itself is worth $150 at least, but it's included within the price of the course. You also get a copy of my book here, Approach Her Like Chad, which is all about how to rid yourself of approach anxiety, okay, and just walk up as if incredibly confident, blah blah blah. So you get all of that, and if we just go back in here, so you get this whole Renegade Dating in Field as part of the course, and sorry, go back into this. And within the CAD Academy itself, you also get, Approach Her Like Chad, which I've already showed you. You also get the book of How to Be an Arsehole, which is all about the dark triad bad boy stuff. Plus, you get text game mastery as well. So it really, really is a very comprehensive package, as she said. So all of that is included within the $497, which is the cost for the course. But I suppose most importantly of all, you also get you also get access to the live webinars that we'll be doing, the private live webinars, which will be taking place really from, well, I'll set the date soon, but it's probably going to be next week, or maybe I'll leave it a week and we'll do it the week after, but it's going to be a week in December. We're going to be doing 2 webinars a day. Someone was asking me about the times for those, right? What we've done in the past is we have done, we've done 9 a.m. EST, and we've done 6 p.m. EST. Okay, so you get one in the daytime and then one in the sort of into the evening. So 9 a.m. EST and then 6 a.m. EST. Those are the 2 times for the webinars. You can join both. You can come into all of them, or if you can only make one per day, that's fine. Come into one, and the other will be recorded and it will be shared with you within the course. So you'll get access to it, right? If there's an overwhelming sort of preference to do a different time to that, then I'm open to being flexible. But those are the times that I've done previously, and it's worked pretty well in those times for people across different time zones. So 9 a.m. EST and then 6 p.m. EST on the same day. So you get 10 of those. Commonly, each session is going to last for a couple of hours, sometimes a bit shorter, but often much longer, depending on the content we're talking about and how in depth we go. And as I say, in a lot of those, we're going to be breaking down real life in-field material. Okay. So students doing approaches and myself in the past and things like this, and we will break them down so you can see exactly the dynamics that you need to be using when you go and approach a girl in real life. Okay, so let's have a quick look at that. Here we go. Let's have a quick look at is it this one? Yeah, here we go. All right, let's have a listen to this testimonial.
Was invaluable for a guy like me who just... Hi, my name is Ryan, and I wanted to talk to you for a minute about Troy's Charisma and Dating Academy. I recently got divorced a couple years ago, and I'm getting back into the dating scene, and a lot's changed since the last time I was here. My skills were rusty, and I just didn't have the confidence that I used to have when it came to approaching women and having that success that I really wanted in order to find partners and women to date out in the real world. I read Troy's Renegade Dating Blueprint material and also liked what he put out on YouTube. So when he came out with his Charisma and Dating Academy, I knew it was something I needed to check out. I was definitely not disappointed. He lays out all his material and his system, the framework that he uses to be more confident, be more charismatic, and have more success approaching women all throughout the course. And his inclusion of his infield dating reports, his infield dating material, where you actually get to see Troy make approaches, get numbers from women, actually be able to get out on dates with people, was invaluable for a guy like me who just, I need to see it to understand. I need to see the process unfold in order to really be able to get it. But the most valuable thing about the course, aside from all the material that he has and the additional bonus materials he includes with his course, has to be the webinars. 5 days of webinars twice a day, being able to interact with Troy directly, being able to ask him whatever questions we needed to get personal advice on our own situation was incredibly valuable. The fact that they're recorded so you can actually go back and review the material and catch the ones you weren't able to make personally just makes it all worth it. I highly recommend signing up for Troy's Charisma and Dating Academy. You won't be disappointed. Thanks. Hi, my name is Ryan, and I want...
Awesome stuff. Okay, so that's a great testimonial there from Ryan Christensen, who was on the course in Q2, and obviously now he's a content creator in his own right. Great guy. He continues to come into the webinars. He came into the free webinar last night. He's an amazing resource. He's going to be there when we do the live webinars. The other thing to say as well about the live webinars is that we will undoubtedly be bringing in other people. So I'm going to be getting John MLD to come in. I'll get Myron Gaines to come in. We may even get people like Rollo Tomasi to come in. Jack Napier hopefully will come in. Maybe Sterling Cooper to talk about some sex techniques, etc., etc. We're going to get a whole host of guys in. So it's not just going to be me talking about charisma. I mean, obviously that's a key part of it, but we will also cover things like online dating. We're going to cover pimping your Instagram, maybe with Myron Gaines and Fresh. We're going to talk about how you can get the best out of the dating apps, etc., etc., etc. So this is just a whole holistic, comprehensive dating education. Now, I see people in the chat saying, dating's effectively on hold until, with this virus and everything. And, yes, to a large degree, I would agree with that. Although I would say that I've got students, even now, even now in the UK, who are out and about and they're going on dates and they're making things happen. But listen, 2021, I'm confident things are going to start to ease. I mean, we don't need to go into the reasons for that now, but things are going to start to ease, particularly as we get into the spring and hopefully into the summer of next year. I'm not saying it's going to be all brilliant, back to normal, but it's certainly going to ease. And so what you really want to be doing is using this time in order to get this stuff down so that when you are back out there and when things have eased up somewhat, or if you've been able to travel or, however it breaks down, then you're going to have this stuff handled, okay? That's what I always like to do. Like in the first lockdown, I was like, listen, this is a rubbish situation. I don't like this. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get my head down and I'm just going to get on with a bunch of work. And I did. And it was a really productive period for me. And I did a lot of self-development during that time as well. And it was great. So, I would say at the moment, this is a great time, especially when it's like cold and, depending on where you are, of course, but in Europe and I guess the States, kind of cold and dark outside and everything, you might as well use this time to learn something useful. And I'm really, really looking forward to starting these webinars because it's in the run up to Christmas. We're going to have the Christmas tree up. We'll have some Christmas lights and stuff going. But more importantly, it's going to be just a deep dive focus on what is for all of us a fascinating topic. And we're going to have some great camaraderie, great laugh in those webinars, and going to teach you a ton of great content as well. There are just a few... hang on a sec, let me just add this back in. There are a few, there's a bunch of testimonials here. There are more testimonials. I'll share those with you later and tomorrow, but you can see some of the testimonials here. My unexpected life story combined with Playboy lifestyle dreams positioned him perfectly to crack the code on being successful in the modern dating world, okay, which I teach in the course. Highly recommended for the man wishing to truly understand dating. Troy, there is so much value in your course. I struggle with some of the concepts, but I know it's all about practice and putting the work in. I feel bolstered tremendously by this information. Thanks again. I found Troy's course to be excellent, in particular for addressing inner game issues and on radical differentiation. The Zoom webinars are outstanding. Okay. Troy's course shows you where your line in the sand is and where you have to go to get what you want. Exactly, because we do very personalized training. So we get a bunch of guys in, as I say, we're capping it to 100 students. So, and typically you get fewer students in the webinars than you do who buy the course. So, we keep the group reasonably small. And what that means is that we can spend a lot of time, I can spend a lot of time with you working on your specific situation. Okay. And we will leave no stone unturned to help you. All right. Because this is all about helping you. Okay. So however many people that we get in, as I say, we are capping it, but all the people that come in, it's all about me helping you to the very utmost of my ability and bringing in the best experts from across the scene to help you to the very best of their ability in order to make sure that you are on track with this stuff going into next year. Okay. This is Mr. POA Dating Tips from Twitter. He says, this is powerful, life-changing content. It's something every single guy should go through and watch because it will save him a lot of painful mistakes. I wish I watched this, talk about the content, when I first started. The sexual marketplace is changing in the 21st century. You can go with the program or get lost. Troy outlines what changed and how to leverage it to your advantage. Absolutely. And listen, I mean, this was written before the summer. I was saying there's an explosion happening in the dating marketplace right now. Now, in much of the world, we're not seeing these scenes at the moment, but we certainly will going into next year, because the truth of the matter is, you don't change human nature. The pandemic hasn't changed human nature. It may have put a damper on it for a little while, but it's only going to come back up again. And I think next year is going to be one hell of a party. Okay. And you've either got this stuff down or you haven't. So now is the time to get this stuff down. I mean, there are problems in dating in 2020, 2021 for sure. But there are also myriad opportunities as well. And you could be like this dude in the shades with his two lovely ladies. Okay. So this is all the stuff that you get. We've been through it already, but you get that whole module on the global dating scene as it is now, red flags to look out for, that rock star frame, how to bring it when you approach her in person. You get all of that information on charisma, all of those techniques, how to crush your fear of rejection, the crack cocaine of mindset techniques. Then we talk about the bad boy stuff. Nice guys finish last. Why is that? What are the archetypes that are so attractive? How do you acquire them without losing your soul in the prospects, in the process? Then we talk about differentiating yourself, and this is basically becoming the rock star version of yourself, the turbocharged, stage-worthy version of yourself. How do you do that? But how do you do it in a way that is authentic? Okay, this is a really transformational module, okay, that's going to take you through to the next stage with this stuff. And it's really, guys, it is this stuff, okay? It's this stuff and this stuff, the bad boy stuff, that really makes the difference. I mean, yes, you can learn about like the London day game model. You can learn about techniques for game and dating, but it's that stuff, okay, that really, really will change things up for you. Certainly that's how it was for me. Then we go into attraction and dating techniques. We go through all of those different, techniques, those secrets of how to approach with extreme fearlessness, the precise steps you need to take to go from high to a full and exciting conversation that leads to you taking contact details and more, how to actually flirt, how do you even flirt, right? We go into that. And how do you acquire that laser sharp social awareness so that you can see what's happening in any situation, okay? It is a unique, transformative experience. I've put a bunch of work into it, and I'm really excited to have you guys on board. So yeah, the other thing is to say, obviously, the Zoom webinars you get, you get access to a dedicated Telegram group as well. Okay, so there is a Telegram group attached to the course, so you can chat to other dudes in there. There's a bunch of dudes in there already. It's a good community in there. We're just going to make it better as we go into this quarter. There is a Facebook group in addition as well, where I'll be posting more and more content as we go forward. So, and plus you get those bonuses, you get the infill collection, you get the books, you get Renegade Playbook, that short course that I showed you. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of value in there, guys. But as I say, ultimately, you can spend all of your time at your leisure going through the video stuff. That's going to be yours forever. You got that. But the webinars, this is where it really comes to life. This is where the real teaching takes place. Okay. And I really want everybody who comes in, you are an individual. You're going to have different needs. You're going to be coming in at a different level, and that's absolutely fine. Okay. This stuff works whether you are a newbie and you are very shy, you're very socially anxious, you're not confident in social situations. If that's you, then I can help you, because that's where I came from. Alternatively, if you're coming at this from a higher level, and we've certainly had high level students in the last 2 quarters, you're pretty confident. You are good in social situations, but you just need to level up a bit, then I can help you with that as well, because all of this is part of my own journey, my own trajectory. So all I'm doing within the course is I'm teaching you what happened for me, how it was for me, and passing that on to you. Okay. So as I say, it's on sale now, or enrollments are open now between now, the 1st of December, up to the 5th of December. So we're going to close it off on Sunday, and then you can't enter. That's it. That's it for the end of the year and until next year. And we're going to look at whether we reopen or not in 2021. We'll have a look at that. But at the moment, this is it. Okay. So you get all of that value. As I say, the cost is $497. Now, the cost was actually $497 back in Q3 as well. And my business advisor was saying to me that I should raise the price, because if you look at the price of other courses in this similar space, you're looking at around the $700 mark now for some of these other courses. I said no, because 2020 has been a really rough year for all of us, and I appreciate the fact that there's a lot of issues around the economy and finance and so on and so forth. So we're keeping that price the same, but this is the lowest that it will be. As and when we open again, it will go up, because really, like I say, to be honest, you're looking really at a minimum of £5,000 worth of value in here, $5,000 worth of value in here, because you've got those infields, you've got the webinars, you've got the 10 hours worth of video content. I mean, this is longer. There's more content in the actual course itself than most other courses that are currently being offered in this space. And that's not even including the webinars, okay? You also get 3 of those books. It's, there's just a bunch of value in here, really, probably too much. So the cost remains low, $497. You get instant access to the course. And then the webinars, which will take place likely next week, or we may push them back a few days depending on a couple of logistical things, but they will happen in December, and you will have those 10 sessions of private coaching, really personalized coaching. And the thing is as well, I mean, like sometimes guys want to do personal coaching with me, and I do that, but it's relatively expensive. So if you want to get access to that, but at a much cheaper level, because I'm charging out now at $150 an hour, right? If you come into the course, you get significantly more time than that, and it's a lot more cost effective for you. Okay, plus you get to keep all the material because you've got the material in the course already and the recorded webinars. So really, it's a no-brainer. If you like my content, if you want to go into 2021 and smash it out there as the world starts to open up again, and hopefully we have a better time than we did this year, then this really is the course for you. And this is the time to be doing it as well. Anon says, jumping between this and the stream with MLD, RIP Blackpool Losers, indeed. Yeah, watch that stream if you on John MLD's channel. It was pretty mind-blowing. Eddie says, what do you think of inviting her to do an activity such as jogging or a dance class? Perhaps more fun than eating or getting drunk. Perhaps. I personally we go into dates, of course, in the course, because dates themselves are a big part of this. I personally will advocate just keeping it simple and going for a couple of drinks. But there is some value to what you're saying. There are pros and cons to it, and we go into that in detail in the course. So listen, in order to enroll, that's the URL there. I will put that in the description below this video. As I say, you've got between now and Sunday, but places are capped as well because we don't want too many people in the Zoom webinars. We want to keep it reasonably small and intimate. So places will sell out. We're capping this at 100 places. There are a load of guys who signed up already. It will sell out. This is the cheapest price that it's ever going to be. And you get all of that value. You get all of that knowledge, and you get all of that content, that value within the package. So I would highly recommend that you sign up if this is something that interests you. And listen, like I say, I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited to relaunch this course. I put a ton of work into it. I know the value it brings. I know the transformation it brings to guys. And I'm just stoked about next week or when we start the webinars. It's just going to be awesome. It's going to be a load of fun. We're all going to swap notes. We're going to share loads of information, and it's going to be a party. It's going to be a pre-Christmas party. Okay. So, what better way to round off the year before we get into the holiday season? Okay. So with all of that being said, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you got some value from this. I will leave it there for now. If you've got any questions, drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com. And if you want me to do another live webinar, then drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com as well. And we will see if we will do another one. Maybe in the next day or so. Yeah, we'll take it from there. Anon says, will this be UK time or US time? It was hard to attend MLDs. Yeah, so I'm talking about EST, which is US time. Okay, so I'm talking about 9 a.m. EST, which is 2 p.m. in the UK. And then I'm talking about 6 p.m. EST in the United States, which is 11 p.m. in the UK. Okay, so both of them are attendable. I don't know if you're in the UK, maybe you're in the UK or in Europe. They're attendable in Europe, but they should also be attendable, at least one of them, in the United States as well. So, that's why we chose those times. Okay, guys, any questions, drop me an email. Otherwise, the link for Charisma and Dating Academy is in the chat. I will stick that into the description as well. You've got just up until the weekend really to enroll, so do take action on that, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye bye.